We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Feeling you have right now, that anger, I want you to hold on to that. Because that malice you feel in your heart is more dependable than any contract killer or hitman, third person. Can you do that right? Is your hatred big enough to sustain you? Yes. You remember that.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Feeling you have right now, that anger. I want you to hold on to that. Because that malice you feel in your heart is more dependable than any contract killer or hitman. Is your hatred big enough to sustain you?
What a story, Mark.
You can act like a man! What's the matter with you?
We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Feeling you have right now, that anger. I want you to hold on to that. Because that malice you feel in your heart is more dependable than any contract killer or hitman, third person. Can you do that right? Is your hatred big enough to sustain you? Yes. You remember that.
We'll do it live.
All right.
We'll do it live.
Let's stop that there. All right, here we are, live. Everything is set up. Checking my levels here. All right, so I just picked up Scheps Omni Channel a couple of days ago. Haven't had a chance to really use it yet, so I'm going to go through it here live, as you do. You know, whenever you get a new plugin, you go through it, see how it works. So that's what we're going to do here. Test it on some sources, go through the manual, all that super fun stuff. All right, go ahead and get started. So you can save 10% on Waves plugins. The code is in the description below. All right, first off, before we delve into stuff, why don't we try this on, I don't know, a vocal here. Make sure I have this stuff here muted. We'll test it on a vocal, and then we'll delve into it. On solo, I already have Scheps Omni Channel loaded up here. Let me do a full reset on that. And let me turn this down a bit. Make sure I'm not...
I'm on the outside looking in, and this world around me is getting colder.
My levels are fine.
I don't know where we can begin, but our body's getting closer now.
Let me do this one here. I think we got some... Let's see here, what we got here.
Tell me how you feel now. It's the only thing I want. Chase my thoughts and fears now.
Let's go for this
Give
one
me
here.
one chance, let me feel your touch. Touch from within.
All right, we'll do this here. I guess we can start off with the preset like all Waves plugins come to load. We'll go with the Andrew Scheps. Let's just say vocal 3 present. We have the focus on. That lets us, you know, see what controls he says, you know, to focus on. Let's just see if we can kick this up a notch here. We'll focus on.
I don't know where we can begin, but our body's getting closer now.
All right, so I need a gate on there maybe.
Give me one chance, let me feel your touch. Touch from within.
Go here.
Out.
All right, so a channel strip. What is a channel strip? Well, it's basically whenever you think about mixing, like a mixing desk, right? You see all of those knobs on every channel. You see a ton of knobs. All they are is basically the same thing over and over and over and over, right? It's an EQ, maybe some compression, maybe a gate, maybe some other things in there, you know, a preamp maybe. So here's our EQ, here's the comp, here's the gate. We're going to get into this later. I'm going to check out the manual, but we have a preset loaded up here. Let's just see here.
I don't know where we can begin, but our body's getting closer now.
Saturation, we can drive this up. I'm going to pull down our output just so I'm not clipping on my stream there.
I don't know where we can begin,
Saturate it
but
here.
our body's getting closer now.
Sounds pretty cool.
I don't know where we can begin.
There's a DS module here.
I don't know where we can begin, but our body's getting closer now.
Just the threshold.
I don't know where we can begin,
The shape.
but our body's getting closer now.
Of course, let me actually pull this down so we're a little more even whenever we bypass it.
I don't know where we can begin.
That's better.
But our body's getting closer now. I don't know where we can.
All right, so a compression. Let's check this out.
I don't know where we can begin.
Got VCA, FET, and optical there. Ratio, that's good there. That's good there. Let's pull down the mix a bit. Okay, looks good. We have duo and the mid side. You can expand these like we did in the mastering chain, if you remember that video, if you watched that video. So a lot of the same controls here. This plugin came before the mastering chain actually, but you can expand that as such, just like, you know, just like the mastering chain. If you watch that, got filters here.
I don't know where we can begin.
Filter out low end or high end.
I don't know where we can begin.
And choose 6 dB, you know, per octave, 12 dB, 18 dB, and a thump.
I don't know where we can begin.
Don't think we need thump on her. On the vocal anyway.
I don't know where we can begin. But
we're pulling some of that out here. That's fine. What are we doing on the EQ here? We are at 8175, 4.2 up on that.
I don't know where we can begin. But I don't know where we can begin. But our body's getting closer now.
Go to a peaker. Peak there.
I don't know where we can begin. But
Okay.
I don't know where we can begin. But our body's getting closer now.
Just want her a little more present, I think.
I don't know where we can begin.
Don't really need a lot of low. Like if you had a mix, you probably wouldn't need a lot of low in her voice to really make it pop through. So we're just setting that up. This is a basic EQ with some color to it, by the way.
I don't know where we can begin. But our body's getting closer now.
All right, so that's pretty good there. Now I might want to put a gate on this because there is some noise down here.
Closer now.
Hear that right there? Let me increase this right there. So obviously I could just cut that out. Just highlight that.
Ow. Ow.
But you could, of course, gate that out.
Ow. 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 Ow.
There we go. We got it out there. Attack super fast. And release doesn't matter in this. Well, I mean, it matters, but not for this little example. So that little section should be good.
I don't know where we can begin.
Nope, too much on
But
the
our
gate.
body's getting closer.
Let me go over the gate there.
Now.
Too much on the gate there.
Give me one. It's getting closer now.
Yeah, so in this case, instead of trying to gate out all that, I would actually just cut it out because it's way over here anyway. And this is, hear that? So I just cut that out. Done. Done, man. Got that vocal done. Back here. I'm here.
I'm on the outside looking in.
Bypass it.
And this world around me is getting
is more low end.
colder.
Obviously more low end there. Without it
I
on.
don't know where we can begin.
It's more present this
but
way.
our body's getting closer now.
Just, you know, just depends on what you want. If you want more low end, we could pump it up here.
I'm on the outside looking in,
right?
and this world around me is getting colder.
But I want to cut a little bit out. I don't need it.
I don't know where we can begin, but our body's getting closer now.
All right, very cool. Listen to mono, stereo, left, right, all the basic stuff there. There's a limiter there. Your meters, so gain reduction, there's the out, here's the in. All that cool stuff. All right, so that's the basics of it. Going over here. A lot of presets. Satin, female vocal. Let's just see what this does.
I'm on the outside looking in, and this world around me is getting colder.
That's not bad right there.
I don't know where we can begin, but our body's getting closer now.
All right, cool. So this plugin is, of course, over here. Waves, currently $69. Goes on sale from time to time. So let's go through this here. Andrew's time-tested combination of compression, EQ, saturation, saturation colors, and more, all crafted to work together beautifully and cohesively. Channel strips are the world's most efficient tools because we don't have to, of course, we don't have to pull up a bunch of separate, we don't have to pull up a separate EQ, a separate compressor, a separate gate, a separate pre, separate de-esser. Has everything right within the strip, so you could actually put this across, your entire chain in Pro Tools, for example, and you can mix kind of like you had a desk, All right, channel strips are often based on vintage mixing consoles. Very true. Okay, Scheps Omni Channel gives you the best of both worlds. The perfected certain combinations of go-to compressors, some based on classic hardware, so we will get some color there. So each with its own unique character. 5 modules used in any order you like. The three types of analog saturation. Yep, different harmonics, compression, 3 different kinds. Wet and dry, so we can have we can have parallel compression if we want. 4-band EQ, and we can take that to fully parametric if we want, so you can get really surgical with your cuts or your boosts. A de-esser, but it's more than that because we can actually de anything, not just the S's or the T's. And of course, a gate. And there's an insert slot that can be positioned anywhere in the chain. Scheps Omni Channel offers 0 latency and full discrete control over each stereo channel. Okay. A bit about it there. Focus presets, 0 latency, internal, mid-side, duo, and stereo routing per module. Okay. So I'm going to go through this here. Check it out. So here's our insert. You can hit plus there, plug in list, and see what you can actually add. So I can add other Waves plugins to this. Whatever I happen to have, of course, that doesn't come with these. Might be cool to put vocals on this. Put that actually in the chain. Let's see. So there's latency on this, so it might sound weird.
I'm on the outside looking in.
That's kind of cool. Let me actually open that back up. So all within one chain, so that's pretty cool. And I could be able to save that preset, I think. Maybe not. I have to read about it first. But I can use this within my chain here. Less reverb.
I'm on the outside looking in, and this world around me is getting colder.
Pretty cool.
I don't know where we can begin,
Bypass
but
it.
our body's getting.
You'll bypass just that plugin there instead of the full Omni channel.
I'm on the outside looking in, and this world around me is getting colder. I don't know where we can begin, but our body's getting closer now.
All right.
Give me one chance, let me feel your touch. Touch from.
Of course, we can move this anywhere we want in the chain. All of these just by grabbing them, moving them around as such. Set up your chain however you want. You know, some people don't like all-in-one plugins. This is not all-in-one, but it's pretty much all you need to really do most of your basic mixing work. You know, your pre, your comp, your EQ, your de-esser, and a gate. I mean, that's great for so many things to get most of your work done there before you start adding effects and things like that. Plus, you have your insert, which is pretty cool, that you can add different plugins in there. I did look at this a little bit, and one thing that I did notice, if you put something with a lot of latency, it kind of messes up a bit. At least it did earlier.
I'm on the outside looking in.
Yeah, so for this, for example, you look at it, there's a whole lot of latency on this one. On that, if I put the mastering chain in here.
I'm on the outside looking.
So it wouldn't be a good idea in that case. Let's just remove that there. All right, very cool. I'm going to take a look at the manual now. Let's go through this. All right. Then we'll test it on a few more things. All the basic stuff there. Note from Andrew. Excited about this plugin. So was everyone at Waves. A lot of hard work. Genesis of Scheps Omni Channel. All right, so we redefined channel strip to mean everything you need to make your tracks sound better, all in one unified interface. You know, I also have Neutron 2, which is very nice. That's like a channel strip as well. I have the, you know, if you have Pro Tools, you'll have a channel strip included. Oh man, what's it called? I never use it because I hate the interface. It's the, go through all of these here. It's just called channel strip. I don't even, I've never used, yeah, it's just called channel strip. I never use it because I do not like this interface. It's way too small. But you see, you have your EQ, filter, dynamics, volume. Bunch of options. It's an okay channel strip. I mean, it's fine. I just don't like the interface, personally. But, you know, everything in the Scheps, pretty much everything, it's applicable to your other channel strips as well. So what we got here. Get through all the fluff. Start with a preset, yeah. Yeah. And he has the focus mode that highlights go to controls. So again, if I load up, let me go to one of his presets here. Any of them. And I have focus right here on. You can see what he says what you should focus on. So this is highlighted in blue. Adjust. Again, what he says, adjust those, whatnot. Of course, you can always turn that off if you want. So when you instantiate Scheps Omni Channel on a track, all processing modules and all selections within modules are switched off. So to switch them on and off, you can see up here. When it's not highlighted, of course it's off. You can turn those off or on. Move them around. Be able to just drag and drop and expand them, which is very useful, especially for mid-side there. Okay, a module that's off does not consume any CPU power. Sections within a module can be bypassed independently. That doesn't affect CPU. So for example, the EQ, we can turn off the high and the mid and have the low and the tone on, right? You can just pop those on and off however you want. The bar, the Waves toolbar system, you know, I talked about it in a different video. I think iZotope has a little bit of a better system for presets. I guess I can put it down here. Let's grab Neutron. Because these are basically the, you know, all the iZotope stuff is, you know, pretty close to the same. This up here. This is how the presets work with iZotope. Choose your presets and you can actually be playing back. Let me bypass this here. It's on solo, right?
I'm on the outside looking in.
So I could
and this world around me
just find something I want.
colder.
Here, the vocals. click it.
I don't know where we can begin.
Click it and it
but our
will,
bodies getting closer now.
it will change in real time, which is a bit easier, a bit quicker. Make sure I bypass that. Than having to come here to load and find your stuff, or using these arrows, you know, stuff like that. Okay. Where is... So the mono component, the collapse view, I guess I should mention this. 2 components, mono and stereo. Collapsed view. Let me see something here. Where's a mono track? Go to Waves. I haven't checked this out yet. Where is Scheps? Okay, so it's just mono. They don't have a mono to stereo component. Just mono, and then of course on your stereo tracks it will be stereo. All right, good to know that. Processing modules, insert point, master section, all basic stuff there. Stereo component, collapsed view, okay, expanded view. So more control options than the collapsed view, giving you access to the left and right in stereo duo, or mid and side controls. MS mode separately. Knobs are bigger than in the collapsed view. Already mentioned that up top, right? Open it right up. And bigger knobs. Go to mid side, for example, be very helpful for that. Link your knobs if you want. So they're linked right now. If it was not linked, of course, you can make separate decisions for each side. Or mid side for the mid, as you can see down here, M, and here's S. So adjusting the middle there, adjusting the sides here. Or you can link them if you want. Be nice. They would turn it on or off, yeah. It would be nice if they would update this like they did with the TG mastering chain. Let's find that so we can actually just show it. Where is it at? Here it is. Just throw this up real quick. So in this one, whenever we're expanded, we have our input, our tone, our limiter right up here, so we don't actually have to, you know, collapse things down. It'd be nice if they would update this, have that somewhere to go through each of your modules without having to close them down. Interesting. Okay. Like I said, I'm really just checking this out for the first time. So expanded view, we know what that means. Okay. Bypass the module. Stereo, we already did that. External side chain, close the window. Yeah, we got all that stuff, right? Expand it. Be able to... Oh, I went bypass. No wonder why. Bypass just that section. And expanded or collapsed view. In all modules, stereo mode sets, a switch sets whether the stereo input signal will be processed as left-right, stereo, and duo modes, or will be converted to MS, mid-side. So mid, like middle, not mid as in frequency range, okay? Mid as in sort of what's coming down the middle, right? Which is very handy, especially for things like drums or even full mixes, right? Freaking microphone to stay upright there. All right, dynamic modules. Yeah, stereo duo, we got that. So regardless of the modules, stereo mode, its output is always stereo. All right. Linking controls, already covered that. So you can link knobs and faders. Of course, there will be off. Okay, so their offset will be maintained. I guess we could show that. Basic stuff, but I guess not everybody knows it. If we unlink, for example, put this on 9.3, put this on -12, and then link it, as you can see what happens there. The offset will be maintained instead of necessarily, not necessarily them being linked at exactly the same number. You can also, like all Waves plugins, double click. You can also use your mouse wheel. Yep. Switches are linked. Clicking left and right switch sets both. Okay, that's fine. Got all that. Common controls. So in the pre-module, saturation and thump sections can be bypassed. The EQ module, each band can be bypassed individually, and the DS module, each band can be bypassed individually. So let's go back to our pre. Of course, we can bypass the thump and the filters here. Let me, do I have a Scheps on this? I'm tired of that vocal. Let's grab this one here and make sure I have this on solo. So our filters, right, I can just turn them off. Bypass them individually. That's all that means. Copy channel parameters. All right. Copy plugin parameters between left and right sides of any module. That's pretty cool. Let's see, while in the collapse view, right click in a blank space of the module. This opens the stereo copy drop down. Copy the parameters of the left side to the right or vice versa. Copying overwrites. Okay, so it says this opens in the stereo. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. It's in all modules, or which ones did they say? That's a learn, so that's MIDI input. You go back here. Oh, okay. Blank space. There we go. I was clicking on the actual button there so we can MIDI learn, disconnect all, whatever. But in a blank space, all right, so we can copy, disable plugin, copy left, right, copy right, disable. That's pretty cool. Disable it like that. Just bypass it here. All right, that's interesting because we're in stereo, so if we're not expanded, I guess we could copy that. All of our settings and paste it. Copy left, right. All right. Can't right click in here, okay. Solo our bands, I guess we'll get to that later. That's kind of cool. Sidechain, let's see what else we got here. Compressors, gates, de-essers. Gain attenuation. A device to alter the level of a given signal. The gain attenuator can be a VCA, an FET, tube, or an opto resistor. Okay. Depending on the design of the unit, this device, I'm not going to read all that. But this circuit is known as the internal sidechain. So example, using an internal sidechain to reduce kick bleed in a snare track. Snare often contains bleed from a kick. Not in our case here, at least in Pro Tools, because, well, I think I have those separate. Maybe I don't. I don't know. Bleed can carry enough energy to open the snare's gate. We all know that, right? This can create a non-musical gate effect. Okay, so by applying a high-pass filter to the internal sidechain, the kick's energy is reduced to the point no longer opens the gate. Yeah, we all got that, right? So let's look at it here. Here's our comp. Here it is. So I have the external sidechain there. Actually have to open it up, I think. See it a little better. There we go. There's our sidechain. We're in left, right. We're linked. I pass. Bypass those. Doesn't make much sense for this one, but that's how you do it. External sidechain. I guess that was our external sidechain. I don't know. Oh, where's that the filter? Which one do we have here? Okay. Yeah. All right. Whatever. All right. On to this here. External sidechain. Same thing here. So control the dynamics of a channel based on another channel. I'm not going to go through this, but this is known as an external sidechain. So of course, with the external sidechain, which I didn't actually have one running in there, you can feed a different signal right into that. Right. So each of Scheps Omni Channel's dynamic modes can accept an external sidechain, and that's going to, I think that's going to be a little bit different in each DAW to set up your sidechain. Here's a key input. I'm not going to do it here, but you can read more about that. It is capable of doing it, right? So of course the example of using an external sidechain to reduce bass gain to prevent it from clashing with the vocal. Again, you can read all that. I'm not going into it here. It's pretty straightforward if you want to use it. Shaping the sidechain. I think we just looked at that basic stuff. Use these filters to shape the frequency content of the sidechain that's going to the attenuation device. This applies to both internal and external sidechains. Switch to the external sidechain from on or off in the expanded view. Once you've set up the sidechain EQ, you can use the filter buttons in the collapse view to turn sidechain filters on or off. And we click that to listen. Very good. Particularly useful in the De-esser module. The sidechain is engaged. Output faders. Control monitor level for the sidechain is indicated. Yeah, we saw that. If you look over here, if we go into the comp, we go to the sidechain, you can see that monitor level there. Could probably pull that down. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool that they do that. Channel strip modules. Okay, the pre is primarily used to add harmonic distortion, and there's of course all kinds of different harmonic distortion, right? So we have odd or even harmonics or clipping to the signal. So the name pre suggests the type of harmonic distortion that one would normally associate with driving preamps. So don't be misled by this module's default position at the beginning. Think of it as instead a processor that adds warmth and color that can be located at any point in the signal path. At the heart of the module is the saturation section, which controls the type and amount of added harmonic distortion. Also low pass and high pass filters. We looked a little bit at saturation, but what we can do here so you can actually see it. Do I have, okay, I do have insight up here. What we're going to do, let's look at this saturation. Let me think how I'm going to have to structure this so we can actually see it. I have my signal generator here. Have that coming out. I guess I can do it like this. We can still see it live. I'll just leave that bypassed. We should be able to see it. There, okay. So my signal generator at the top of the chain, then I have Scheps in between it. I just want to make sure I'm running. Okay, yeah, I'm running level through. We'll make sure I'm running level through. I don't even need to see this, and we don't need to hear it because it's annoying. We just look at it though. You can see, let me turn these off. Just look at the pre here. This over here. So now the pre is on, but saturation is off. So now we're on odd. Let me pull this up. And if you look up here, you can see what starts happening to our signal. Look at all of those harmonics and all of that harmonic distortion. And if I switch it to even, you're going to see those bands change. You see that? Where it's distorting at, or the harmonic excitement is. If we go to heavy, again, it's different. Of course, control the amount there. Go to diagonal there. We'll pull it down. Go to odd. It looks like even with heavy on and all the way down, we still have a bit here of excitement, of saturation. Interesting. We pull it way up. Let's go to odd again. And even. I'm gonna be weak. Yeah, that's not gonna work on this one. Back to the spectrogram. So that's an interesting thing to know of how the distortion actually works. And of course, once you start hearing it, it's gonna be a little bit different. So let's actually hear a couple of these before I go through the manual anymore. Take the signal generator and just bypass it to make it stop making noise. That's a good way to check out plugins, by the way, is just run a signal generator through them. It'd be kind of interesting what you find out, as long as you have something like Insight or some sort of a scope to really see what's going on. Let's actually test this out a little bit. Let's turn these off. Pull this down. Saturate it. So kind of different. You know what we need to really hear? This is something else besides drums. I mean, you can hear it on drums, but I want to see it with something else. We might come back to that. I want to get through this manual here. Time is it 4:33? I got time, I guess. All right, let me go through the rest of this stuff, and then we'll get to actually testing this out more. Okay. Well, so there's a thumb. Let me go through the pre here. We'll finish this up. So besides saturation, you have your filters. Okay. Low pass and high pass. Right. Basic stuff. So you can really control your sound before it hits the EQ, or you could have your pre wherever you want, as already mentioned. You have your 6 dB, which I guess I can show this. Yeah, Neutron, I'll do it. So you can see it. Okay, so if we take our shape here, let me go here actually. There we go. So 6 dB per octave, right? It looks like that. 12 dB per octave, of course, cutting out more. 24 dB per octave, which we don't have here. We have 6, 12, and 18. But just so you can really see it, just so you kind of know what's going on, you know. Versus 6. Right, 6 dB per octave. All right, so same thing on the top end there. Our shelf there. Pull it in. Over here. Turn that on. Turn that one off. Same thing here. 6 dB per octave, 12. 24, you can sort of shape the sound. So if it's too much on the top end, you can just cut that out instead of having to worry about trying to use your EQ to pull stuff out. Just use your high passes and your low passes and whatnot. Much quicker to shape your sound. So if a drum's too thumpy, or like a chunky guitar is way too much low end, you can just fix that real quick. Get this band off there. Fix that real quick by making sure the guitar in this case, or piano or whatever, isn't taking up too much of the low end, for example. So that's what it looks like. What else? Bump. Bump is pretty cool. So I have 2 dB or 4 dB. I have to pull this up, I think, to actually hear it better. Turn it off. I'll turn it back on. It's more low end in that, and it probably would help us to actually see this. So let's put Insight on this master here. Insight, right? Yep. Up. Okay. And Electrum Analyzer here. Let me put this here. This here. and thump off. There we go, right in this area. So that's what it's actually doing. Has that low frequency thump or resonance. EQ module, 4 bands. Each band provides a distinct musical sound that holds up on its own, while blending well with the other bands rather than being restricted to certain frequency ranges per band. Each band can be centered at any audio frequency. All right. For EQ, band it. Of course, you can choose any frequency. They're not, you know, for the high, for example, it's not just, you know, 4K to 18K or whatever. Or you can do all the way from 20 hertz to 20K. You just find what you want. You can bypass that band. You can listen to just that band. Of course, find the area you want. Different monitor levels. That's pretty cool. It's actually really helpful to have that. Tone band. Again, 4-band EQ, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just find the area you're looking for here. Double click to type it in if you want. And then adjust it up or down. Of course, you can choose your shape. 3 different shapes. You can go parametric and get really, really tight with that. Take our Q way up. Gets really tight. Widen it out. Go to this band. That's a fixed shape. A wider shape there. Basics of EQ there. All right, so any band can be fully parametric. Already looked at that. High and low sections each have shelves with fixed Qs, as well as one adjustable parametric bell. Okay. There are 2 other EQ, mid and tone. They are identical except in the wide mode, where mid is a wider, cleaner filter, best suited to enhancing characteristic sound of the source. Tone is a bit narrower. It can really help a source pop out of a track without too much EQ. It's somewhat smeary. It's good for coloring and gluing a track together. All right. So tone is a bit narrower, as they say. If I go up here to high, so here's our shelves, different kinds of shelves for high, and of course parametric. Those parametric now. Make it nice and wide. Different shape here. See what we're actually working with versus this shape here. A little bit different. Very cool. So stereo mode, already know that. High section, high filter types, mid-bell EQ. Got it. Low section and the low filter types. Our De-esser module. De-esser module has 2 identical dynamic processing sections. Like a de-esser, gain reduction is activated based on frequency defined sidechain. So each of the 2 De-esser processors can selectively control dynamics at any frequency. Right? Sidechain module can be an internal or an external source. One external sideband applies or supplies both processing sections. Expanded view, DS number 1, sidebands, right. We have your filter types, on off, your frequency, gain reduction. Okay, basic stuff, output in the external sidechain. Very basic stuff there. Well, we could really do it on anything. I could do it on drums, I guess. They pull inside back up. A little bit smaller. All right. Turn this off. Turn this off. Turn on the de-esser. So we can listen to frequencies. Now this depends on the shape as well. If I change the shape, it's going to be way different, of course. Wider notch looking. Looks a bit tighter here. And our shelf. So if I wanted to get rid of this cymbals up top, I guess I could just pull that out. And listen. Pulling out some around about 75 or 7.5. Doesn't sound great in this example, but of course, probably make more sense on vocals, but I don't think she makes any noise. Too many S sounds in here, but I guess I can see.
Touch from within. Give me one chance, let me feel your touch. Touch from within. I don't know where we can begin, but our body's getting closer now.
All right, that's close.
Give me one chance, let...
Up here.
I don't know where we can begin, but our body's getting close. But our body's getting closer now. But our body's getting closer.
We try to find that S. And then just, decide how much we want to pull out. Just to control it a little bit. Of course, change the shape. There we go. It's probably a bit too much. Because if I bypass it.
But our body's getting
right. There's not really much sibilance in this, but I'm just showing you the what to do if it's really SE, right? Really SE, not SA, but S. It's really SE, right? And or even T's and things like that. We can pull out anything because we can freely sweep from 20 hertz to 20K. But you want to go for your S's, so I want to come up here, more up here. Sort of depends, right? Listen. That's too harsh. Just pull some out. All there is to it.
But our body's getting closer now. But our body's getting closer now. But our body's getting closer now.
All right, we're pulling out a little bit there, not too much because that vocal's already fine. But that's how it works if you don't know. Compressor module. Our compressor module made up of 3 different compressor units, each with very different characteristics. VCA, very fast, transparent, linear compression. Or compressor. FET's slightly slower, has some more distortion in color. That might be a good thing, might be a bad thing. And the optical compression there is slow and very smooth, so transients are maintained. And the best way to learn about those is just try different ones across, different modules or, through different sound sources. And just switch between them really quick. Changing the compressor type does not alter the parameter settings, so you can efficiently compare, which I kind of just said that. Expanded mode, we know about that, right? Stereo mode. MS mode, that's kind of cool. Okay, compressor. Type or threshold. Basic things, ratio, attack, release. Module, output, so we have the mix and the output. And expanded view to access the side chain. EQ. We already know about compressors, right? Get this one off here. Probably sound better on this. I don't need that up, do I? That down. Pull this up. That's what I want. Turn that off. Here's our compressor. Again, put it anywhere in the chain you want. Maybe put it here. That's fine. I have to select my... Hold on, we're clipping there. Already hitting pretty hard. Ratio is super high. VCA. Really crush it there. So here's our mix. Of course, you can compensate for that. Of course, whenever we're compressing it now, everything is coming up. That's why you can hear those cymbals really, you know, a lot louder now. Right? Everything is just, we're getting all that room tone, everything. We have a super fast attack, super fast release. It might be a little bit of pumping there. But what you can do, if you really want to crush your drums in parallel compression, pull this up somewhere above 10. You can just crush them. Right? And then pull your mix down to around 50. Then you'll have that added punch. But you'll still have that natural sound too. Alright, that's bypassed. That's way too much in my opinion for this. But you can do that. So the FET. Opto. So they sound a little bit different. Hear them better like this. Right, this sounds completely different. There's more punch with the opto, but it's slower. And of course, I'm doing this on like a full drum mix, right? A lot of these presets are for you know, individual things like kick, snare, tom. Here's Crush My Drums, for example. So this is for the full drums. Bypass it. Sounds pretty good. Not really what I like, but you can turn that focus on or off. So you can focus on what, you know, Andrew says you should focus on. But we can make this sound a little better, in my opinion. Drive it more. I'm gonna turn on my filter a little bit. I like the thump on the low end, personally. Well, let me see here. So it's on mid side right now. That may be too low. I'm actually gonna pull that gain down a bit on that end. This is the mid side, by the way, or the mid. That's not what I wanted. I'm looking for the click. I'm gonna change the filter type. There we go. Sides, a bit too high. Change the filter. Pull that down on the low end for the sides. So bypass it. So that's really crushed. Put VCA there. We'll pull the ratio up, pull the mix up. Release is fine. That should be quicker. If you want to really crush that, you can limit it to. Is it even doing anything there? The opto. That's a really crushed sound, if you like that sound. Of course, there's more presets. So the gate module, standard gate expander. Okay, with controls for threshold, attack, and release. Also has controls for range and close. Let's adjust the maximum reduction. Maintain a consistent noise floor. You know, sometimes you might not want to hear the sound cut completely off. Like if you think of, well, anything, if you think of vocals, for example, if you have the gate come all the way down, it might sound unrealistic, although it might sound good. It just, you know, depends on what you want. If there's a certain room noise, right, running through something, or whatever noise running through something, and you cut it off, so everything is silent, then it's just going to sound weird to have this certain sound, and then everything's cut off, and then it comes back on with that sort of, you know, low-level noise in there or something. But, you know, play around with it. Has controls, I already read all that. Internal, external filter. Apply ability to gate in MS. Well, that's kind of weird. Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, same stuff. Basic threshold, the attenuation meter, so how much we're basically pulling out. Gate range, gate close, attack time, quick or slow, release time. There's actually, Waves actually has a good article on gates if you want to read further into that. I think it's down here. Yeah, audio gating basics. So if you want to read that, you can check it out. All right. Let's look at the gate. Not going to sound great on these drums, but we'll do it. Why not? So it's on gate right now. Is it on? Yes. Attack. We're just starting to gate things out. Wouldn't be a good idea for, you know, this full mix of drums. But if you have just, say, a kick and you want to gate out a snare, this is how you could do it. All right, sounds weird on the full mix, but you get the point. So we're choosing the floor now. So at 0, it's not doing anything. All the way down there, it's going to really try to cut it. Close -48, it's not doing anything. 0. So attack time, really fast. Or slow. Hear the difference? And then release, make it really long for the release. Or really quick. And it's just pumping, right? Put it in expander mode if you want. Which is a bit softer there. On this vocal, this vocal doesn't really need any gating, but I'll pull it up here.
I'm on the outside looking in, and this world around me is getting colder.
Because it's already silent here. But if there was noise in it, I think I have any noise in here, do I? No, I don't. But if there was noise in it, you could always just gate that out.
Colder.
Of course, it's gated too much right now.
Looking in, and this world around me is getting.
So it's going to sound bad there, but I don't have any noise in any of these samples to really show it, but I don't think I have. Let me see. I have here. Yeah, I don't think I have. Looking for one of my tracks that I usually gate off whenever I do the produced videos. I don't think I have. I think I've deleted everything because I didn't need it. Yep. But either way, you still get the point of what a gate does. Just cuts things down that you don't want to hear. You just set the threshold when you want it to come on. set your floor for how much you want to pull out. If you think of a guitar, you know, if you want really fast, chuck, 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 right? And you don't want any sound going out, you can really pull that floor down. If you don't want it to cut completely off, you want there to be more sustain if you're playing a solo, but you don't want it to go on forever and start feedbacking, you know, you can just adjust your floor to taste there. Of course, we can expand this. We have our different modules, sidechain filters, external sidechain filters there.
Beginning, and this world around me is getting colder.
Put on stereo.
Beginning, and this world around me is getting beginning.
So that's all that gate is. Nice to have that included because a lot of times you have to find a gate. You know, whenever you're mixing and whenever you have all this stuff in one, you know, in one thing, much easier to, yeah, mic won't stay up. There we go. So your master module, 4 sections, twin VU meters, input gain reduction output, monitor section for monitoring the output and monitoring format, and a brick wall limiter, input and output faders and meters. So master trim pot, I think I looked at that. Is that here? Oh, there it is. This little screw, adjust that. Turn this gate off here. This up here. Where did this actually? Pull this one up. Where did that gate? Gain reduction on the compressor here. There's the input, the out. To the in. And gain reduction, so we have that on there. All right, all your meters, you want to look at those instead of something like Insight. Brick wall limiter, input phase, invert. Our clip indicators, stereo linking, right? So unlink that. Now you can adjust both sides separately if you want. Then it's going to stay with that, you know, difference that we have there. But let me alt-click both of those so they're linked. There we go. There's your phase reverse, which will sound right. If you need to check your mix there for problems. And then the insert plugin slot, which we looked at up top. Click, or to insert a plugin, click the plus sign. Allows you to, for instance, add a second EQ plugin. So you can have one before and after, or double compress a signal. Rearranging processing sequences, processing sequence. Click and drag the left right arrows above the module name. Already looked at that. Using Scheps Omni Channel, they give you practical examples, which I don't really need to look at here, but I might want to take a look at that. Boost a little 60K. Well, for air, somewhere around 5, 7. Broad tone for the beater. So that's actually, you know, that's a standard sound for the beater. But at least in metal, there's more, well, I don't want to say it's more popular, but somewhere around 2K to 5K. You can also boost around there for a different sort of a beater sound, which is pretty cool. A little more popular. Or not, again, not necessarily a little more popular, but you're hearing that more and more instead of boosting way up high, right? Where you're getting that really, really clicky tone. I mean, you could even boost up to somewhere around 8 or 9 or 10. It really depends on what your kick drum sounds like. So this is just basic stuff I'm not going to go through. Just giving you some examples, what you can try. Working with MS mode. I guess I could do that real quick. Let's see. Maybe I should read this. Mid-size signal is a classic way to open up a track and make space for an instrument that's at the center a stereo image, you can use MSEQ processing to help focus and separate the bass drum and snare from the overheads. I think we just did that, didn't we? You have a pretty good control of the mono tracks, but add the stereo overheads and you can mix, become mushy. Yeah. Using the compressor. Yeah, compressing in MS can be harder to conceptualize. Use it very creative ways. Use slow attack VCA compressor in the middle to add attack to the kick and snare in the loop while quickening up the attack and slow release on the sides. Some good tips here. So focus mode, we already looked at the focus mode there. Just highlights controls that they say you might want to look at. Basic controls, already looked at all that stuff. Section on off. Free module, looked at it already. Filters, looked at that. DS module. Low shelf, bell, narrow cut, and a high shelf are different filter types. Oh, here they actually go into, yeah, okay. Odd and evens, impact of odd and evens is very content dependent. We already looked at that on the on Insight, what that really looks like. So heavy is less about adding harmonics and is more of a traditional clipper. High pass and low pass, just basic stuff there. Thump, warmth and character, DS module. That's our filter shapes there. Low shelf, bell, narrow cut, high shelf. So where is a neutron? We already looked at sort of like a low cut, like a shelf, right? Different types versus maybe, let me go to 1 here. Like a proportional Q. Well, this is, I can adjust the Q here. This would be like the parametric, for example. You can adjust that however you want. Of course, you have that, at least for the EQ, you can go to P, which will give you that parametric, so you can tighten up that Q, which is the same thing here, right? Wide and tight, wide and tight. And these other two are, well, on the high anyway, these are different kinds of shelves. Shelf, there's a different kind of shelf, a vintage shelf. You can see how, turn these off so you can actually see this. Pull that off, that off. The shelves, depending on the shape, right, are a little bit different on how they actually operate and affect the sound. But we have our shelves up here in the de-esser. Those are wider. This is tighter. That's our top and then the low end there. All right, basic stuff. Go through this here. Frequency sweep. Control and drag vertically on frequency control. This activates sidechain listen and lets you sweep across frequencies. Module. So here they finally go into the type. So we have resonant shelf. That's a small emphasis just prior to the beginning and to end the end of the shelf. Then a regular shelf. So the resonant shelf is this one right here. The first one, like that, right? I have a resonant shelf in here. This is, oh, we have a resonance here, but it's not called resonance. It's just a vintage filter type. This is like a basic shelf here. Cleaner, right? That's our standard shelf. And then parametric, which we already looked at. You can, the bell-shaped EQ, unlike the shelf filters, the Q control is available. So you can go really wide or really narrow. And for our bell-shaped EQs for the mid and tone, reshape options, wide, narrow, and parametric, same stuff, same exact stuff. Get rid of those bands. So you can think of wide. They don't actually say how wide it is, but the fixed shape, wide, a little bit more narrow, for example. So wide, narrow, then parametric, which is freely available too. Adjust however you want. So the mid is relatively wide, inner filter, suited for enhancing characteristics. Tone a bit narrower. Really helps sources pop out with adding without too much EQ. All right. Just the gain, all that good stuff. All the basic stuff for the lows, right? Compressor. So I'm not going to go through all of this. I think we know enough about it. So VCA modern sounding compressor. You can read more about that if you want. The FET, slower, opto based on photocell compressors. Slower attack, transients are more easily maintained. All the basic stuff there. All right. Pretty much all we need to see. Let's try this on a piano now. Let me set up a piano here real quick. All right, so that's everything about it. I'm going to try this on a piano here. Make sure that's bypassed. Close this down. This down. Close that down. Let me Control Shift in. Let me grab instrument track here. Let's throw contact on that. There we go. It's 5 o'clock already. Jeez. Probably should have went faster with that manual. Gotta go here in a minute. Throw in the grandeur here. Okay, okay. Let me grab some MIDI here. Those libraries. My headphones back here. Okay. Let me grab some MIDI here. Throw one there. Where's my MIDI at? There it is. Okay, MIDI files. Oh, let's go for some piano. That's what we're doing here. I don't even know what this is. We'll just see. Sure, this is soloed. Okay. Let me change this. All right, I'm not going to do too much into it, or with it here, within contact. All right, so it's a little bit muddy, right? Checking the levels going out to you guys. I got so many freaking meters in front of me right now. All right, let's throw Scheps on this thing. We could do this on, let's just do it on the master. What do you say? Doesn't matter in this case. Bypass that. Make sure it's on. Don't think we need to see insight in this case. Over here. Let's start with a preset. What do you say? Let's see if we got something for piano. Here's old piano. Let's see what this sounds like. Jesus Christ. All right, sounds like an old piano. Bypass it. Compressed too much on that harmonics, my opinion anyway. What if I bring up neutron? Okay, inside actually, not neutron. Guess we will look at it. Let's just see what it's doing in terms of harmonics. I don't even think we need to see the piano, do we? I know I don't. Let's just see here. Turn that pre off. So you see that there? Let's go to odd. Warms it right up. I don't like that preset, personally. At least not for this. I mean, it sounds fine, but I don't like it for this. I guess I can find another preset, perhaps. This one says piano clarity. Let's see how this does. Clears it right up. Pretty good preset all in all. But if I was going to do this from scratch, let me see, full reset. All right, let's start out. So let's do this. I don't even need the gate. I'll put it at the end. And for those just joining, by the way, you can add, I did this up top, you can add a plugin, another Waves plugin to the Scheps Omni Channel here. You know, whatever you happen to have, you can't just, you know, these don't come with it. Right? You can add sax, piano, vocals, drums, whatever you want. Just load it right up, which is pretty interesting. But let's go ahead and actually, let me mix this here. First thing I'm going to do, okay, sorry about that, guys. Had to take care of something there. Back to this. So, maybe filter out the low end. What do you think? I don't think so. Maybe a little. Just so it's not too boomy overall. Put some thump on there. I don't like that on this. So De-esser, I don't think I'm gonna need that either. Let me move this around. Let's go to our EQ. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up, and we're gonna go to MS. And what I want is I want that center, that low end, to really come through down the middle, and then I want the sides to open up, right? So let's do that. That's our resonant. Let me go back to here. Go parametric with it. Really focus in on it. I'm gonna go with the resonant. Go to the low on the sides here. I'm gonna pull that down just a little, just so the low comes down the mid. So tone. There we go. I'm gonna pull that out a little bit, just a bit. Now the mid. The high end. I'm actually going to pull a little out, I think. Not much. I'll go to the sides and go to this resonant shape, I think. I want this to open up here. Okay, just pop that through a little more. Just a bit. I don't want to pull too much of that body out. Okay. If I bypass it. Back on. A little bit clearer, right? A little more focused. Yeah, I don't like thump on that. A little more saturation. No, compression. Compression. I don't have to compress this, but I can, I guess. I might go for the optical. That's too much. I don't want to compress it that much. Makes it sustain a little bit longer. We'll mix down some. There we go. Could limit it if I want, but I don't want to. Check it in mono. Check the sides. Check the middle. I could if I wanted to. Pull more of this out. Clear it up a little bit. But I'm losing a little bit of body, so I don't want to pull too much out. I actually might put some in the sides. Let me do this. That's a little bit clear. Hitting a bit hard. Might pull that mix down a bit on the compression. Depends on what you want, right? If you want it to really pop or you want it to be more subtle. Just depends on what you want. Turn it back on. We could use the de-esser if we want. Focus in on some frequency that we don't like. So maybe some muddiness. That sounds pretty cool. We're losing some of the like thickness in the middle, but it's not bad. We could do that mid-side too if we wanted, but I think it sounds alright like this. Gate doesn't make any sense in this case. Right? So we just turn it off. And see if I have any stereo wideners here. What I could use, well, I don't know what I want to use. I could use the CLAFX. Those are pretty cool, but maybe I'll use spread, maybe, or imager. Let's just see here. Use it right within Omni Channel. actually don't like that one. Let me go to we got in here. Just turn it down. It's too wide, it's too chorusy. So it has a little bit more width to it. You could pull more reverb in. Of course, now I'd have to go back to the EQ. Pull some of that out. It's a bit too wide, but just as an example, that's something you could do. You can bypass that. You know what might be cool in there, actually? I need to move on from this, but what might be cool in there is reverb. Throw that on there. Let's see what we got in here. Grab something real quick. What piano? Too much, too much, too much, too much. I like that actually. Bypass the reverb. And bypass everything. Back on. More resonant. Fuller. A little more clear down the middle. Those sides open up. Alright, so that's it on a piano. Just a channel strip plugin with its own sort of colors and whatnot on that. Of course, we can do anything we want. Strings, drums. Already did some drums. Could do some drums again here. Let's put this on mute. See what else we got here. Maybe we'll try a vocal again here. Pull this up.
Tell me how you feel now. It's the only thing I want. Chase my thoughts and fears now. It's the only thing I need.
A nice radio effect there.
Tell me how you feel now.
Bypass
It's
it.
the only thing I want. Chase my thoughts and fears now.
That's
It's
actually
the
that's actually pretty much perfect right there. Just that preset. I was gonna go in and dig into it, but that's actually kind of perfect. That would actually pop right through of a mix. That's actually perfect.
Tell me how you feel now. It's the only thing I want. Chase my thoughts and fears now. It's the I need. I breathe.
I mean, I
Tell
could pull
me,
some out of that
can
out
I be there?
if I wanted to. Pull some low out if I
Only
want.
thing I want. Chase my thoughts and fears now.
Just depends on how much body you want, right? If you want more body, you could pull that up right around. This is 257.
Tell me how you feel now.
Or you could pull it out.
Tell me how you feel now. It's the only thing I want.
Because that's actually pretty much done there.
Tell me how you feel now. It's the only thing I want. Chase my thoughts and fears now. It's the only thing I need.
Let's grab a CLA. Under effects, CLA vocals. Put that in our chain. Make sure I turn all of this off first.
Tell me how you feel now. It's the only thing I want. Chase my thoughts and fears now. It's the only thing I need. And you can build a bridge and tread above the water. Tell me, can I be there? It's the only thing I want.
Take a little bite off that.
Tell me how you feel now. It's the only thing I want. Chase my thoughts and fears now. It's the only thing I need.
Pretty cool.
And you can build a bridge and tread above the
So bypass.
water. Tell me, can I be there? It's the only thing I want.
Pretty cool. There we go. That was pretty quick through. Pretty good preset there, actually. Put that there. What we got up here? Okay. Well, we could start from a preset. Here's parallel drum bus, so that should give us some pop. Let's see. Jeez, man, that is smashed. Guess that's for putting on a parallel drum bus, not directly on it. So in that case, let me pull this mix down. That's still smashed. Wouldn't work for me here. That's just the kick drum preset. Let me hop in here. So if we just want to check just the kick drum. Actually, you know what I might do? Let me do this. Let me save that. Let me go here. So I have some raw examples in this session over here. Load up. Eventually.
Oh, hi, Mark. What a story, Mark.
All right, here we are. All right, so here we have our kick. Pull that stuff off of it. All right, and let's go for Omni Channel here. Let's try this out. I haven't tried this on just a kick yet, so let's see what it can do. All right, so first up, let me, so a very raw kick sound, right? Well, that's pretty great, actually. Kick 3, kick 4. Not bad. Bus, live kick. Kinds of presets here. It's a solid kick. Let's see that. Kind of like that one actually. Little saturation on it. Oh, some more thump. Those are like black metal style drums. So let me go in here. We're on stereo. Off there. Adjust that a bit. Put more click in there. And it may be too much. Just again, depends on what you like. Less click, more click. So bypass it. Cleans it right up. I might compress it. VCA. What you got going on here? So it's much better than it was. Of course, it's not completely done, but it's a pretty good preset to start with, that kick 1 if you want to work on your kick. Kick 3. It's not bad either. Versus bypass. Bypass again. Comes through a little bit better there. What we got going on here? Pulling out somewhere around 147, get rid of that sort of that woolly sound, you know. That's a little too low for me to pull in. I'd say pull up maybe around 80. A little too much. Again, more click, less click. Depends on what you like. Go around 5K. Pull it down to around 2.5. It's a different kind of a click around 2.5. Just depends on what you like, you know. Let's kick 4 here. Yeah, I don't like that one at all. Kick 1 and kick 3, not too bad. Right off, just loading them up. Definitely improves it. Alright, so that's it on a kick. Just the kick. Go back to my session here. And we'll try it on something else. All right. What do I got here? Do I have any samples I can just throw in here real quick? Get a bit quicker. The mix symbols. Oh, this is probably already produced pretty well. This loop would be my guess, but let me just see what it is. Yeah, I don't like that. Back. Get something here. Or could use a virtual instrument. Don't have something to throw in here. There we go. Let me try this. All right, let's just try it on this. Waves audio, let's find Scheps. All right, what do we want to do with it? That's the main thing when it comes to mixing. You got to figure out what you want to do with it. So I want more low end. All right, first thing I want to do is saturate it a little bit, I think. So I don't want to cut out any low end, but I want some thump on that. That's cool. Next thing, I'm going to go ahead and compress it a little bit more. Pull that out even more. Bypassed. Already better. We haven't even done any EQ yet. Don't need the gate. Probably don't need the de-esser. Mid side. Start with the low, because I want this to punch. Not so much on the low on these sides. Well, actually, a little bit. That's a little too much. There we go. What do I want to do here? If I want the sides to open up, I'd pull some out. But I actually think I want the sides to have some low end in them, just not that low. There we go. Top end's pretty much okay, I think. I could open it up if I want. Resonant filter. Pull some air into that. Now here I could pull some out. It's too harsh. I could pull a little out. And we still have it on the sides, right? Do the same thing here if I wanted. Sounds wider like that, but I'm losing some power. I'm gonna do, there we go. Pull a little of that out in the middle. All right. So bypass it. That's what we started with. Now we have this thunderous progression here already. With just that plugin. Bypass it again. You know, so that's the power of your channel strip, because I don't have to go out and find a pre, an EQ. Well, I don't need the gate or the de-esser, but I don't have to go get a different compressor. Of course, you always could if you want. You know, you could, if you have a certain compressor, at least from Waves, you could actually load up a different compressor here if you want, or you could do multiple compressors if you want. Would be cool to push this wider, but let me see. Let me see. Sound field. Which one should I use? Maybe spread. Let's just see if we can get this a little bit wider. Well, let me just... No, don't like that one. Yeah. That's pretty wide. Yeah, I don't like that one. Don't like that one. Let me grab. Or this. This might be cool. Maybe with some reverb on there. I don't know. I guess kick might work for that. Let's just see. Pull this track down. Have that sub really kicking through here. Probably don't even need that on there. That's kind of cool, actually. But I want to hear everything on that. Pretty cool, though. You can actually put these in, you know, another plugin within this. Make it huge. Again, really depends on what you're doing. But let me just get rid of this, actually. Remove that plugin. one of the best wideners. I mean, there's a lot of good ones, but if you want a free one, there's one out there called Wider. I've already done a video on that. It's from Infected Mushroom. Just add that underneath it. Push it a little bit wider there. Anyway, bypass it. That's what we have bypassed. Sounds fine, but really pumped it up here. Very cool. Try it on something else. I think I gotta get out of here. That. Let me see what else I got here. I can just pull something in. I'm gonna have to play something. Let me see what I got. What is this here? Bypass that. No way. That's kind of cool. Now for this, I want to bring out the low end. And I want to restrict that top end. We'll reset that. So I might saturate it first. Just a bit. Compress it. And I don't want that top end so present. Could do mid-side for this. In this case, I'm trying to pull this out. I don't want it in there. So I just want it to be really ominous without so much top end. That's what I'm looking for here. We pretty much got it already. So bypass it. Turn it back on. There we go. I could even use the de-esser for that, really. Find that annoying frequency that we don't want in there. Pull it out. Pretty cool. That's what I was looking for there. Really ominous sort of ambient. Not as sticking, not sticking out as much. If I bypass it again. Pretty cool. All with that one plug in there. Instead of having to grab a different compressor or EQ and the saturation, just do all that there. What I got here? All right, we can do this too. Get rid of this fade here. The ending was driving me crazy. Yeah. All right, I don't like that preset. No, I'm gonna do this from scratch. So what do you want? What do you want? So that's the main thing you gotta think about. What do you want? All right, I'm annoyed by the mid-range. I want it to sustain more. I want the low end higher. I want more saturation. All right, so I have my plan, so let's do it. Very good. 2 there. I think we're good there already. Don't need the gate. I'm gonna skip over that for now. Let's go to the EQ. Let's go to him mid-side. I want this to sing on the top end and thump in the low end. This frequency right here is annoying the crap out of me. That, get rid of that. It's too overpowering. But in the high end, on the sides, let me go to this filter. Some of that out there. was there. A bit clearer. Go to duo here. Okay, I'm gonna do duo instead of MS. Put this up here. Pulling that out. Any highs there? They're all over here. There we go. Unlink those. Pull that down. Pull it all up. There we go. So bypass it. Back on. More presence, more power. Very cool. All right. So I might do this on one more thing. What should we do it on here? I gotta go. If I have any strings already done, so I don't have to put that in. Let me look over here and see what we got here. Okay, let me find strings here. No idea what this is. Let's see. That's not going to work. Nope, those are affected strings. It might work. That'll work. All right, let me structure this out here. Get rid of that. Just on grid. See what this sounds like. Just grab these. All right. Last one here. I don't even know if they have any strings presets. No idea. looked at this. I kind of doubt it. A lot of keys, a lot of drums, acoustic guitar, bass, backing vocals. Plenty of presets to start out with there. Grand piano, kick drum inside, plenty of stuff here. But no strings, so we're gonna fly blind here. No problem. Again, we just have to figure out what do we want. Alright. I don't like thump on that. The low end that thump adds is too warm. Yeah. I do like the saturation though. Not gonna need the gate. Might as well move it down. Not gonna need that. I'll put this. I don't know if I'll use it or not. I'll put it there. I'm gonna compress. Okay, let's do it like this. That should work. I'm gonna open it up and spread it out. Bypass it. And back on with the EQ. So we are peaking a little bit in here, but don't worry about that right now. We're gonna fix that. But that sounds better already. So, I don't know if I need that de-esser or not. I do want to compress it. Too much. Too much. There we go. Just trying to level it out a little bit more. bypassed. And then on. So it's spread out now. More energy down the middle for that low range, more energy in the sides, that upper range. Bypass. Pops through much more. Maybe a bit much in the top end. I could take care of that here, I guess. It's too harsh. I could take care of it here. Maybe around here. Find the band that I want. That takes care of it pretty well right there, actually. Not sticking out as much now. I didn't like what the compressor was doing to it. By compressing it too much, I didn't like what it was doing. Maybe if I tried the opto. It's not bad with the opto. I can compress it a little bit more. But I actually think I like the FET with not as much compression because I'm taking care of it with the de-esser. With that little, that frequency that's just annoying. Right in here, whenever those strings hit. We're pulling some of that out here. I don't have to compress it as much, so that's good. Alright, so thump sounds okay now. We have the EQ on there. Alright. There we go, man. Pretty cool, right? We bypass that. That's what we started with. And pull it back on. Much more surrounding, more open, more present. The EQ makes a huge difference. One more time. Bypass it. Just try to compensate those levels some. So even compensating the levels, the difference is present. Right? Again, that's bypassed. Which sounds fine, but pull that on, that low end comes up. Once we pull the output back up. Much more surrounding. And from there, you might want to use your insert, throw a EQ, or not an EQ, but a reverb on there. That might be kind of cool to really make it surround. You might want to put a, something in the sound field on there, spread it even more, or you could of course use your inserts in Pro Tools or FL Studio or whatever you're using. But this is my first look at it. Like I said, I got this a couple days ago. This is literally the first time, well, not literally the first time I opened it up, but pretty much the first time I've opened it up. So overall, it sounds good, rather easy to use. Some people might not like it. Some people might prefer, which I also like. I also like Neutron quite a bit. I can pull it up here. Neutron and other channel strips and other EQs and compressors for that matter. They might utilize a graphical interface, which some people might prefer. I like Neutron too quite a bit. It's pretty cool what you can do, especially with linking different instances. You have your track assistant, all that stuff is pretty cool. You have Neutrino built in there. But some people may not like all the graphics and everything that's going on here in this sort of channel strip, which is basically what this is. I mean, it's basically a channel strip, right? What all of these things are. Some people don't like that, and they prefer basically the look of a desk. And if you're mixing, a full song, a ton of tracks, you could have this across every single track, and it would be pretty much like, you know, mixing through a desk. Pretty much, because you know the EQ has a certain tone. Obviously, the pre has a certain tone. The different compressors have different tones. So you're not just stuck with just one, you know, SSL or a Neve or whatever kind of a console. This is sort of almost like a hybrid in a way, which I think is what Waves sort of refers to it as. But not that there's anything wrong with the SSL models or any of the other modeled desks. They just have a certain sound. You have a little more leeway with this one here. So overall pretty cool plugin. I would definitely suggest you try give the trial a shot first. Did I close? I close it. Anyway, you can get the trial at Waves. I think I have the link in the description if you want to check it out. So get the trial before you buy it, because some people may not like mixing like this. It's nice to have around, especially when this one goes on sale. It was on sale a couple days ago for like 39 bucks. I think it's back up to 69 now. So, you know, keep that in mind. But overall, I like the plugin. I like channel strips as long as they're well made. You know, I like Neutron, and this one's pretty cool. I did a very long video on the mastering chain, which I was very impressed by the mastering chain, which is why I went ahead and bought this too. I was, you know, like I said, I have Neutron. Why do I need anything else? But figured to go ahead and pick that up too. So overall, good plugin to check out. Check it in mono, left side, right side, sides, mid, stereo. Again, bypass it one more time. And back on. Very cool. All right, man. We have gone through, what did we go through? We did some guitars, we did some piano, went through the entire freaking manual, did some drums, did everything. So once again, this is the Waves Scheps Omni Channel. Worth checking out as long as you try that demo first, because you need to get used to the interface. But it's pretty easy to understand. Again, you want to see all that, just look at the beginning of the stream or the beginning of the video. By the way, this stream is 720p. The upload later on will be full 1080p, which will probably go in a couple of days. All right, so basic stuff, EQs, setting your frequency, setting the gain. You can go parametric if you want and get really surgical with you know, your Q there, of course, your different shelf types or your different peaking types. All basic stuff that once you understand one channel strip, you'll understand it in all of in every channel strip. Same thing for your compressors. Nothing magical going on here, but they all have a different sound and a different feel. So you can always read up on more of that. These sound pretty good, and it's nice to have the different types within one plugin, so you're not having to go through, you know, and go through one and say that doesn't work, and then go through another. And just have them all right up in here, really quick to you know, to get through. Didn't really go into the side chains, but you have that option as well. De-esser, nice de-esser, freely, you know, selectable bands. Got to have a gate in there. This is a very nice gate with that floor and the close, and of course the attack and the release. So you can really set that attack slow or really, really quick. Same for the release. Lots of options there. So that, you know, this gate will work on anything: drums, guitar, vocals, even podcasts. You know, this might be a pretty good EQ to throw on whatever you're podcasting through, although you can't really throw it into Streamlabs or into OBS because of the Waves shell. It prevents the VST from being loaded, which I'm using Streamlabs here. I'll put a thing in the description if you want to download Streamlabs for yourself. Start streaming, or you can even record your screen. It would be nice if Streamlabs and OBS or Waves or somebody would work out the problems with the VSTs in OBS, because it would be nice to be able to use something like this, because there's so little latency or none at all, right? With this desk or with this channel strip. Hey dude, in there. Just wrapping this up here, man. Over 2 hours. went through a lot of sources. So once again, give it a shot. Give it a try first. A trial, so you can figure out if you like it or not. But it has tons of options, and they all sound pretty good. Plus, you have that pretty innovative feature here of being able to throw in whatever other Waves plugins that you happen to have that you can actually just throw in there, and in your full chain, so you're not having to hop through a ton of different interfaces. So definitely worth checking out the trial. All right, man. So this is Scheps Omni Channel here on Plugins Live.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Feeling you have right now, that anger, I want you to hold on to that. Because that malice you feel in your heart is more dependable than any contract killer or hitman, third person. Can you do that right? Sure. Hatred big enough to sustain you? Yes. You remember that.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Feeling you have right now, that anger, I want you to hold on to that. Because that malice you feel in your heart is more dependable than any contract killer or hitman. Sure. Hatred big enough to sustain you?
What a story, Mark.
You can act like a man. What's the matter with you?